Let's take it from the top. What's your name?
Your friendly neighborhood spontaneous cravings.
See someone's thoughts right before they say what they're supposed to say. So it's very fast. Now, one has the same behavior. They just summarize the lines. Presumably they don't want to be trained on its actual reasoning process to replicate their model, right? Here, they're not afraid to replicate their model at all. They're just happy to show you the reasoning process, and that is super fascinating. It is very, very inspiring, I would say. It's very, very efficient. It radically decreases the cost of running advanced AI workloads, and even better, the DeepSeek team produced a detailed paper explaining the model, how they trained it, how it works, and the model is open source, so you can run it yourself on local hardware. And even more exciting, they produced different versions of it that run using different base models, so you can run a version based on Qwen or Llama, that may be a lot smaller than the V3 based model, but can run on a consumer graphics card or even a phone. Though it's sort of funny to use it when you use it with a really weak base model, like a 3 billion Llama 3B or something, because you're seeing this little tiny model try to think, but it's too stupid to think. So it's like mumbling. It's hilarious. It's a really fun model to use again because you see that reasoning process. And it's really critical here because this is a model that, I have copies of it here. I'll have it forever. No one can take that from me. And it's a really nice model, right? It's really cool.
It's cool.
So, yeah, it's great for all kinds of companies because it brings LLM capabilities up to a really high baseline of performance, and it's better than arguably anything from any AI model, any AI provider rather, except OpenAI. Now, what did tank NVIDIA's share price? It tanked NVIDIA's share price. Well, tanked is generous. I think their share price went down by about 15%, which is big, but if you look at NVIDIA's share price over 5 years, it's I think they can survive a 15% loss possibly. Given they're worth over $3 trillion still, I believe. But basically, if AI gets radically more efficient, everything held equal, then the demand for NVIDIA GPUs will go to zero, basically. But there are some key caveats, right? AI efficiency improvements historically have not reduced demand. They've instead led to more and more compute-heavy models that have just pushed demand further and harder. And increasingly, we're going to see models that are used in agentic ways, so are basically primarily prompting themselves, or being prompted with visual input, or audio input, or text input that's being generated instead of human input through prompts. And those autonomous models can obviously occupy a GPU for much longer without needing direct human input. It's also probably, I think, because DeepSeek R1 getting released increased the chances of U.S. export controls on GPUs becoming greater to China in particular, but other countries as well. That also decreases the market potential for NVIDIA GPUs. Finally, I would just say here, it's not totally clear exactly what the future holds for NVIDIA there, in part because the inferencing-based models, these reasoning models, cost very little to train relative to inference. They use a lot more time spent in inference than training, and you can run models like these on a much wider range of hardware than you could train them. But you have to train the NVIDIA GPUs, but you can run them on anything, basically. So that's certainly very clear.
Those silly bastards still haven't sent anyone to fix it.
The models are going to say how large intelligence has so much upside that you can possibly justify paying enormous expenses. So it's really hard to see where that goes in terms of like the valuation of NVIDIA or the share price or the market position of NVIDIA relative to firms. But yeah, it's totally not sticker, but it's going to be very interesting. Of course, AI is something well that has the stage and OpenAI is prepared to push that very well.
In a city tingling with desire. Watson. New episodes every Wednesday at 10. Only on WNS.
So it just keeps accelerating. Yeah, some shit. Shit, my system's basically placed.
So hold on.
Really hard data. I just can't really see any kind of stuff. Performance. The always going to be performance, therefore, that is still going to be a requirement to get NVIDIA hardware. I don't know. I really don't have this space. interesting stuff. It's also really interesting to see that the Radeon 7900 XTX seems to be a bit of a hero for those who are running it. Yeah, good. Yeah, if you get bigger model in VRAM, of course, because it's a XTX style. And yeah, it's just the same line. That's what 24 gigs they run. That's the 8 gigabyte version. That very easy. That's 7 million. Same thing with 4-bit amortization. That model will fit in 40 gigs. I believe that model is next to here. But yes, the thing is that R1 comes in several it basically works with like 10 different base models, ranging all the way from 3 billion to 600 billion top end. So in terms of number of parameters,
let's take it from the top. What's your name?
I'm Brendan.
For to run your model in VRAM. So yeah, 48 gigabyte model would help, but also at the high end, you really start to talk about processors like maybe a strict scale.
Your friendly neighborhood spontaneous craving satisfaction machine. How about a coffee?
Yes.
Word of warning.
Moment of your time.
For their innovations, that's really that's not so much really compute heavy hard that I'm curious what you actually do this whole speed.
Next city, expect the unexpected.
Actually, not that very good for elements and fairly has to parts of it now. Elements have searches. I find it's a useful thing to search. And there's also a automation. So it's really if you understand something, you can summarize a variety of content and say what to want that to perform. It's generally research to do research for you. Search through hundreds of websites in some cases. So there are useful applications of it for research and things like that. But in terms of like the work that we do here day to day, like that it doesn't help them really stop too much. In general, it's what we're working with. The kind of information we're working with, the fact that it's so visual, the fact that we're generating real time, the fact that it's like probably 50% plus we just spend playing capturing games, right? Like that's something that's a lot of people. I think it's not the writing process is really and it's involved in that process. And they don't do a very good job frankly. So yeah, there are a few areas where I don't think we use them like for just personally, right? They generally get better because like they're smarter, they can visualize information in a better way than people can. They can summarize information better than people can. They're just more useful for a lot of better complications.
Potential. Take your money to the next level.
Hey V, thanks for showing. Talking with Michael is like a game of 3D chess. Don't let her derail.
Up to 2.5 billion with partner banks. It's your turn to transform your finances. Join Robinhood Gold now for just $5 a month and get the first 30 days free.
Care to be a bit more specific? Wouldn't mind knowing what to expect.
Expect everything. Miss a beat, she'll wrap you around her finger, get you on her agenda while thinking you're the one in control.
Ooh. Guess I know the type. Some deets about her could be useful when I talk to her. Don't you think?
No, leave the talking to me. V, get it together. What's up with you? V, get it together.
So, in brief, I'm just here as your hustle, right?
Never said that. I just know the woman better.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Hold on. I'll open it.
Looks like you've come this way before. More than once.
I have, on occasion. Easy as pie. Follow me.
Actually wondering about like PCIe, like if you run.
Judy Alvarez. I'd say it's great to see you, but I've never been one to lie. Also, I never like surprise parties, but you know.
Yup, bet I even know why.
Thought you'd hit rock bottom when you joined the Mox. Guess you've managed to stoop even lower now. Consorting with a persona who is very non grata. Yes, V. I mean you.
Guess it left a lasting impression. Good. Paid you one visit, and you remember me.
My job, among other things, is to remember unsavory customers. Naturally, I take it upon myself to deal with them too. Now, how am I to deal with you?
Don't mind me. Just here to blend into the decor.
That's no reason. Why come at all?
To make sure Judy gets what she came for.
Jude would have had a better chance without you.
Starting to think blowing hot air is all you're good at.
A pathetic attempt at getting under my skin. What's next? Threats?
Well, can't ever rule violence out.
You two done bickering over diddly squat? Cause if you are, I'd like to get down to biz.
Here's the thing. Literally in moments, security will figure out you're here. Got two options. Go out the way you came in, or get thrown out. And don't get me wrong, Jude. I'd gladly sit and catch up. Been quite a while since we last talked. But you're not safe here at Clouds. Especially not with him at your side.
Had enough. I'm leaving.
Smart move.
That went smoothly. She didn't even let me make my point.
Don't worry. She put on an act. She needed to show who's boss. We took her by surprise. I mean, she couldn't do anything but throw us out. She'll call soon enough and ask what we actually wanted.
You might be onto something.
You have a history?
Way back, yeah. Think I just felt lonely.
Like everyone in Night City.
She was different then. So was I.
Can't trust people that see everything as a numbers game. Line between patting you on the back as their friend and planting a knife in you as their enemy is down to a decimal.
I know. Right there with you, well, used to have a big crush on her. Took me a long time to realize who she really was. But still, Honest or crooked, we need her. Just think, could've gone diving this morning.
A little unwinding do you good. Do me good too, actually.
I wouldn't have been unwinding, not exactly. Got an idea buzzing in my head, working it, but I can't say if it'll amount to anything.
Yeah, you, a deck chair, and a Mai Tai with a cocktail umbrella? Somehow I don't see it.
No, me in a deck chair's me mulling over coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Something I avoid right now. Punch the ground floor. Need to get out of this place.
Follow your instincts!
Feeling tired, bored, powerless.
Really don't understand what tits have to do with selling that garbage.
Can't say no to tits. The rest can go fuck itself.
Hey, if it works, blame the corpse all you want, but at the end of the day, it says more about us than them. Biz is biz and tits are biz.
It's like junk food. People don't buy it because they're gunk. They're just poor. Gotta get back to Maiko with something big.
Appealing to her sense of justice wasn't big enough?
Maiko only works with specifics.
So, what now?
Gotta think. We need more bodies, that's for sure. I'll call you. See you.
Standard memory of a PC to run these file sources. Performance that yeah. I don't know. And just hearing you, there's a lot of things I thought about parallels to other aspects of computing, like time generation consoles come out. They give them all this new hardware, and typically what's been done until rather recently is we just make 30 FPS better looking. And how risk could be like that? Just better outputs, we pile out more. But I'm also reminded of like when IBM PC clones came out. Having the ability to just do it better and cheaper in different places now, rather more than the source alternative. I see a lot of interesting parallels, and I'm very curious to see what happens next. But what about speed?
I haven't tested this myself, is that it really just hurts performance, like it kills performance on higher cards.
Your coprocessor malfunctions are bad like
that's typically there. But personally, I don't really use these models typically on consumer-grade graphics cards because I have actually to run consumer graphics cards cannot use at least at reasonable speeds. So that's where I tend to run my AI models, and probably where I'll tend to run my AI models in the future, like the Mac Studio is a really good vehicle for these kinds of models. But yeah, just in general, like it's, I don't know, LLM progress is super exciting right now. There was a long period where LLMs were not advancing that quickly, and like now it's going super quickly. That's really exciting. And this reason is they've discovered that the scale of models it doesn't take 6 months to train a model
Hi, you there, Mysterious? Yeah.
The next like 1 or 2 years, probably there are elements that are super intelligent in some respects when it comes to.
Hey there, stranger. No.
That seems to be coming along pretty quick here because LMs are already like level 3 is already the top like.
I'm sorry. Oh well.
Okay, you got.
So, nothing's gonna.
Thanks. Brennan, right? Cool.
Oh yes. Well, I do.
What happened?
See that container in front of me? It's complete. Could you move it a bit to the side? I'll reward you.
I'll see what I can.
Thank you, V. Boy, are you strong. Here, have a.
In 1984, the Air Jordan.
Catch you later, Brendan.
Catch me? Why? Will I be falling?
It's just something you say as a way of goodbye.
Oh, I get it. I mean, I don't, because catching has nothing to do with goodbyes, but... oh well. Don't humans say the darndest things? Catch you later, V. What a neat phrase.
Indeed. And I don't mean, great you. Even with a $5 is that?
Sir Cyclone 2. We covered 19 controllers, and the Cyclone 2 was not one of them. Not because we didn't want to cover it. It was on our original coverage list. It just didn't arrive on time. It's so lucky for you. Short circuit exists if you're going to take a look at what is potentially one of the best controllers on the market. We have our controller, we have our unit chart stands, monitor stand. We have our 2.4 gigahertz dongle. We have our instruction manuals, stickers, quick start guide, and we have a 1 meter Type A to Type C USB cable. That's fine. It's shorter than a lot of the cables that I see in control boxes, but I'm going to use this in wireless because why the heck wouldn't I? We also have the white version, which nicely enough comes with the white cable and a white dongle. That's actually a nice little touch I genuinely wasn't expecting. We have our face buttons, our asymmetrical sticks. We have our menu, chair buttons. We have our Xbox style turn on button. So nice right around it. On the bottom, we have our hand button that is the motion assignment functions to it. And at the top, we have our basically upper triggers, our Type-C port, as well as, now that I know, a phone mounting slot. You can put a little phone mount on that, that's pretty cool. We have two paddles and our pins for charging for the dog that comes with it. You don't have to get the docking costume. And on the bottom, we have our
Not like this! God! Oh!
Very solid amount of buttons, nothing too extra. In terms of feel, this is very similar to Xbox, but smaller, and this back edge feels a little bit sharper. It lands right in the crevice of my. I'm okay with that. In terms of hand feel, this is very similar to an Xbox controller. It feels a little bit smaller, and this back edge feels a little bit sharper. It lands right in the crevice of my fourth and finger, so it's not uncomfortable, but I think some people won't love it. That does mean that the paddles land right under my middle finger, so it's a very natural hand shape, and it feels very comfortable. It feels quite premium, very solid, no like twist or anything. The triggers are fairly light, but they feel premium, very even across the whole travel. On the trigger itself, you'll see there's a little switch that switches it between Hall Effect and micro trigger mode. That's an interesting mechanism. Usually there's like a little button here that adds a plastic stop. I don't hate that. In the clicky mode, it feels totally great. I don't think my finger's gonna touch that toggle naturally. I kind of have to go reaching for it if I want to feel it, so I think that's actually a pretty ingenious spot to put it. It is a little more finicky, so I don't think mid-game you're going to be reaching and switching that, although that's not a particularly common thing to do. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can actually see what's happening inside the trigger. When I switch the toggle, there's a little lever that comes down. It looks like a little mouse switch. You're getting that directly. It's not just like a little plastic stop. It goes back to that makes the transparent beautiful. These bumpers are definitely membrane-y, but they're well within good zone across the whole thing. It feels like pretty even compressed, although I think you can hear the difference in pressing closer to the inside. Definitely totally fine, so finger pressing on the whole thing. The white one has the transparent triggers, at least more transparent than the black transparent one, which is transparent, but as you can see, it's hard to see inside, so I think this is a more striking look. I like that aesthetic. I'm not a big gold guy, and I fear that the plastic would wear on this and not look so great. I think aesthetically speaking, it is a fairly striking controller, quite attractive. Face buttons are a fairly short travel with a little click at the bottom, so it's a micro switch style. Those feel pretty good, actually. I like that. These buttons aren't as important, and they all feel fine. The D-pad, bad, clicky, but it's still a little pushy overall. I don't think I would hit accidental diagonals too often, but doing, forward, quarters go forward is not going to be a super consistent experience. These sticks have a good weight to them. They feel pretty premium. And part of that is actually the self-image. These are game-certain res TMR sticks. These are 12-bit resolution analog sticks, which means you have a little more definition and precision on the sticks. In my experience, that doesn't translate into
here! I'll fucking bat you out!
All units in the area, we have an urgent situation in Westbrook.
Roger, dispatch. Don't they got core security there? Fine. On our way.
All units be advised. Suspect remains in the vicinity.
Everything is pretty darn good on this thing. Everything except
Suspect's vehicle has been located. Details have been sent.
So join the over 70 players. Join the War Thunder for free. So, in the video description, maybe we're on the stand. USB cable on the stand. Download this, and that's all.
Code 0. I repeat, Code 0 in this area. All units resume normal duties.
That's actually a pretty slick system for a PC thing. And it's connected to get our gaming. I guess changes part next time it's up. But that put in but switch part of the mode. We have our stick, our mouse, select mode. We have that is supposed to be down here. We have the trigger. Big dead zone, which by default at the dead zone on both sides. We have our adaptive mode. These are not adaptive triggers. There's a fixed mode. Actually, same thing, dead zone, anti-dead zone. There's a curve mode, which is rated B. Really, the default is supposed to be hair trigger mode. I'm repeating exactly because I'm just going to use the stroke box itself to use that. FC control, same thing, dead zone, anti-dead zone. Curve does it, and it's stick trajectory. You know, button reassignments for just default. That's a fairly comprehensive control. This is your working pretty good. Pretty impressed with this controller. It's time to game. First impression, the sticks are very precise. They feel very good. The triggers feel awesome. Input latency on this feels spot on. And for our labs testing, this felt really little impacted. Input latency around 9 milliseconds. Although we support a line of big input latencies over the 2 gigahertz stop. Our testing was not required to be most consistent. But personally, I haven't seen the spike. My screen.
Fucking 2 ads on a 10-minute video.
Yes. Triggers with microswitch that are well, generally it's just that plastic toggle. This still has that tactility of a little microswitch. These feel exceptional. And then the regular Hall effect trigger travel also feels really premium. This feels exquisite. I didn't even test this stick circularity yet. Oh, that's looking pretty dang good. Oh, average error 0.1%. These are precise. These are nice sticks, which puts it within margin of error of our labs testing, which was 0%. Labs explicitly said these are among the best analog sticks they've tested yet. Oh, game, sir. You know how to game, sir. I like to say, this is a really good controller for handheld too. If you're a sweaty gamer, it has this textured plastic feel, so it's not gonna have that gross rubbery $6. And this controller works on Switch, it works on PC, Android, iOS. It's an excellent. It just is hard to argue with $50 for such an excellent controller. Wow, there really is no reason to buy first-party controllers unless you're playing the console. I am left wondering, should I get this or the Vader or the Apex? Man, there's so many good controllers that I just wasn't aware of. I don't see any downsides to the Cyberpunk 2. It's a really well-rounded controller that's built for a lot of purposes at an absolutely fair price. I would definitely have this list of controllers you should consider. Just like you should consider subscribing to Short Circuit and watching more videos. I recently unboxed the Apex 4, which arguably is a better controller, but it's a different price tier. So it's it's an interesting one to have in your conversation. But
this looks centered. Let me see. Maybe if I just put it a little more to the left. No, leave it up. It really elevates the space. Press your way.
the rest will be here soon. Please, come in. Right, Agatha? Can I trust you? They are open or sometimes we launch product because we want to find out if it's good. Sometimes we unbox it because we know it's good. And the Fly-Digi Apex 4 is the Fly-Digi makes the controller space. If you know what Fly-Digi is, they are, I guess, a smaller company in competitions as Sony and Xbox, making controllers in the PC predominantly space. And they are quite popular if you go over on r/controllers. In the box, we have a 6-foot cable because it's just longer than my wingspan. We have our USB dongle because it's a wireless controller. It can do 1000 hertz over 2.4 gigahertz. It can do Bluetooth. It can do wired. And with the dongle, it can actually work with the Nintendo Switch, which is pretty nifty. And then we have the controller itself. Also inside the box, we have this little package. I'm guessing it's going to be a quick start guide, as well as illuminates your personalized light panel. I think that's to replace the Fly-Digi logo here. I guess presumably you could put something on it. That's a weird one to have 4 of. Also, SIM card removal tool. What? This isn't a cell phone. Finally, we arrive at the controller itself, and it's got a pretty nifty white and transparent aesthetic, which is pretty cool. The front faceplate actually comes off, which is pretty cool. One of the weird design oversight things that I don't like about it is that in order to take the faceplate off, you actually have to take the sticks and D-pad off. I forgot you had to take the sticks, that's why I forced it. But then when you're under here, you can better see the rumble motors, the Hall Effect sticks, modules that are pretty nice looking. These look very R2D2-esque. But most importantly under here is the sync tension adjustments. Those is a pretty standard Xbox layout. We've got our base buttons, our asymmetrical sticks, our clicky D-pad. I don't like this. It's not very tactile. It feels like there's really not much response to it. It's not horrible. It also feels like it travels more on the left side. I've had to give up finding a controller that is an excellent controller, but also has a really good D-pad because it's just such an afterthought in the way that modern games are interacting with it's for your squad command, for your inventory. So this is
fuck.
Style. So if you're using Xbox, I really like this feel. Not bad, better than most controllers these days. This things feel amazing. These ones have already been adjusted because we use this in a cool video coming over on the LDG channel. I'll tell you a little bit later about. But just feels heavy and responsive and tight. Oh, so good. Start select is fine. At the bottom of the front, we have a heading function button on the side. Software. And then we reach the bottom. On the bottom, it's pretty simple. It's just pins for a optional dog that you can buy. It's $20, which is nice that they don't just roll it into the cost of this controller. You might not actually want that dog. On the back, we have our on-off switch as well as our 4 paddle buttons that you'll be able to assign in software. And on the top, we have our bumpers and our triggers, as well as our Type-C. This is the drive and makes up Type-C, which is great, as well as what I believe are locking panels for a locking cable, so you won't just yank out your cable, although I couldn't find a specific cable for this purpose. Let me know in the comments down below if you have this cable that would lock with this. Now that we're done exploring, let's see how this feels in the hand. Feels very good in the hand. It's quite heavy. It's over 310 grams, which puts it definitely in the heavyweight contender category. The rubberized grip is actually pretty nice, although you can already see we barely use this one and it's already getting dirty or worn. And so that's definitely a consideration. The faceplate plastic is actually pretty nice. I was a little bit worried it would feel super cheap. Sometimes the faceplate...
Another gonk who thought fate smiled on him.
He's probably smiling himself before he OD'd on Maelstrom's shipment.
That's what you get for sampling Maelstrom's supply. Strongest shit out there. Nothing else that can fire up their burnt-out synapses. Poor bastard. His output's probably out in Albuquerque, waiting, unaware little Jiro's brain turned to jelly.
This was actually the thing that started getting it.
Oh, they have a couch over here? Oh, okay.
To switch my mind about alternate controllers, I feel that sticks out to me when I first picked up an Asus controller, and they're like the lightest, least resistant sticks I've ever felt, and they just feel cheap and wrong. And I know that the fly, did you know that you can actually adjust your tension on the fly? I thought that was good because I'm not going to be
I know, I'm saying it. I got days off coming up.
on the fly adjustment, it's about finding
I have no idea. I know they're coming up, though.
exactly how you want. Robin Hood Gold.
Fucking Ashley texted me about who's this fucking kid came in. He used to come into the fucking Lakeport Market. Oh, can you do this for like 30 more seconds? You just better when you do it the right way, the crispy. Like, okay, and I just go back there like, fucking look at my wrist. Here you go. Oh, this is way better.
So what about that person that you're with?
Oh, Ashley this morning's like, well, he wanted to He comes in like a week or so ago, fucking, this week's dry, just like dumping it out on the counter and shit like that.
Yeah.
Then he comes in last night, he's bitching about the dry stuff, the bill and all that. And he's like, I don't want this is the dry stuff.
Yeah.
And fucking, so he's like, I want a refund. So I'm like, okay. And it's like almost 10 there, I was pissed, but I'm like, all right, I'm just going to take my time, store's closed. And then finally he saw that everything was closing up, and he's like, sorry guys, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So but I'm fucking pissed after. It's like, he just comes in at like literally 2 minutes before we close.
Yeah.
So I left the thing on the computer because he wanted a refund. Actually, he just left. I'm like, have a good night, man. I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But if she starts shit with me, I'm gonna be like, Ashley, it was 2 leads and 2 employees last night. Like, fuck off. If you're worried about it, come in. You're a manager. Yeah. Seriously, come in. You're a manager. This is your job. And you just want to sit home on a Saturday night and do like fucking volume and shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm not listening to your shit. You got something constructive to say about like something was off? Fine. But I don't want to hear shit about that fucking stuff. Give me a fucking break. Restart the computer and get on with your fucking life. Read the email. Nothing was off last night. Get off my fucking case. Yeah, so Foz has got 17th, week of the 17th on. Oh, this is... Yeah, I got Wednesday, Thursday next week. But I open Monday and Tuesday, so a little bit better. I got to open Saturday for once. Holy shit. I don't have to close on a Saturday. Holy.
Robinhood Gold can unlock your money's potential. Earn a high APY on idle cash. An IRA match.
That's exactly how you want. Yo, what? Secret compartment holds the actual tool to adjust your stick tension. This is so cool. Okay, I dig that. It's not just aesthetics, it's practical. So the way it works is you turn it and you adjust the tension of the spring, which resets the analog sticks to their center. These are Hall effect sensors, which is great because theoretically that means there shouldn't be any wear and tear that causes stick drift in these. They should run for a very long time. At the light end, it's about 33 grams of force to move the sticks, and at the heavier end is about 100. Just for reference, an Xbox controller sits closer to the bottom at 55. I guess the only thing left now is to plug it in and test it out in some games, but only after we tell you about our sponsor.
Boot.dev. Thanks to Boot.dev for sponsoring this video. Learning backend is quite a daunting task, but Boot.dev makes it fun by gamifying the experience. Enter a ton of code and progress through an online self-paced RPG-esque course, all while earning XP, levels, and achievements. And if you remember stuff,
Oh shit. Oh shit. How did those mine
V, we got company.
Holy fuck.
And away we go. This is your 2 in the unboxing portion, RGB, and screen. I don't think it's that great. That is one. This one seems to be mostly from an aesthetic, and I would way rather have battery life than the screen. It's just let's look at the software. It's all this company can tell you that it's a bit annoying by the name that I had to find a Reddit post to link to a rough version of the website to really get these software on my PC.
Fuck. That worked out for me.
To adjust the setting, not to connect to the phone, to disconnect the phone, and then plug it to the computer and hope that the settings have translated. Please make the website better. Just want to quick describe it. It's space station software, which compared to some of the peripheral maker stuff, but that doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, it looks like I have access to more settings than I've seen.
I don't know what you're upset about, but I'm not upset.
All the buttons. That's actually really nice for accessibility reasons.
No, I won't.
Currently, our back buttons aren't set to anything, and I don't.
I was looking for a
yet.
sweater.
We can adjust our joystick dead zone, which is by default 0, and then also the sensitivity curve. I'm going to leave it at default because I don't have a preference across all games of how I want the sensitivity curve to be.
I gotta go to the bathroom and you went in.
Yeah, because I had to go.
So did I. That's why I got up.
Assign the gyro to one of the joysticks, so if a game doesn't have
Whatever, I had to go.
you can actually force it in the
Yes.
controller software.
I gotta go.
You can actually assign it to mouse sensitivity, which is kind of cool. I'm not a JavaScript guy, but there's a lot of people that seem to be swearing by it, especially for those little micro adjustments when you're sniping and stuff.
Oh, do your
So
thing.
very cool. The thing I'm most interested in is the trigger settings. Like I briefly mentioned before, they are adaptive triggers, which are similar to the PS5's DualSense controller. Basically, what that means is that developers can set different resistance levels of the trigger to simulate different effects. So as you pull back the phone, you have that stretch feature. It's something hard.
You're gonna bring that close to the room?
I brought the air fryer. Yeah, I don't want them to think I'm trying to like make everything my own. But everyone's happy about the air fryer, so I'm gonna stop there for a while.
Adjust the different settings. The damping start position, the damping strength, which will simulate more of that air trigger. I think it's a little bit disappointing that the best provided in the features of its mid-tier brethren, which is the air trigger stops. You know what that is? It's basically the switch that you go that forces the triggers to be very short in motion. Much faster reaction time and stuff. You can simulate that with these adapters. It's not nearly to the same effect. It just feels a lot heavier to press, and then the dead zone will be set right at the top, so that as soon as the vibrations start opens the software that will add this on top of games that don't support it, or if it's just multiple settings I can change that are all going to make it more messy when I'm in game later. You know what? Doing the trigger lock setting makes it much closer to what having a real trigger stop feels like. You set the damping position to 20. If you're just lightly tapping, I could be convinced that this was a mechanical stop. However, if you're like a squeezer, you can easily get past that point and go all the way down. It's actually not bad. I'm kind of impressed that they were able to simulate the feeling of a mechanical stop that well. In the general tab, we can mess with our RGB, a couple different settings that are kind of cool. I'm going to turn it off. Like battery life. Does that turn the screen off? No, it doesn't. The screen stays on. Oh, that's a big bummer. Revision intensity, all the way. Let's go.
Well, these are the results I like to see. Until next time, brother. Gig closed.
It's not the highest resolution rumble I've ever built in. It's just rumble. Just kidding. You're not expecting haptic feedback like there is in the Joy-Cons or the PS5 controller. Wow, there is so many settings because I can make my different profiles here, but then also set the top speeds and make it for attacking triggers. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so we can go into games and turn on the adaptive sense mode. I have to turn that on and test that out. I've also done it in Journey 5, which is so I think this is very specifically new games that are supported. It's like Alright, so let's see. Where's the hot?
V, I have a job. The urgent kind. Someone is yanking my friend's drones out of the sky. Check out the coordinates. Find out who is responsible. The details are attached.
I have that just going on non-stop in my peripheral vision. They got off-brand Mario and Luigi. I gotta go last solitaire.
You set it.
Mario working on the thing I'll say is that the frame rates twice as long as here. It's real fast. Strangely enough, they want to be in slot the boss fighting the second. Let's test the circularity. That's pretty good circularity on the sticks. We have to get labs to test this controller because it's part of a big roundup we're doing on LTT that you should make sure you're subscribed so you can see that as soon as it comes out. That's again.
Because why has your mom been so carefree? Enjoy the content.
After a whirlwind demo at CS 5, Alex is back in business to take a look at the very first game that is shipping RTX information. That's why I'm here to RTX bring it down to resolution.
Yeah, so RTX Mega Geometry is essentially rather large change-up to the ray tracing API. So next games are all ray tracing, achieving a similar system. Actually, and ray tracing, one part of it is shooting out rays, of course, and seeing if they hit stuff, and another part of it is building this structure called an APH. So it's geometry of the game that Trace gets. Building part of it, it's all
Well, these are the results I like to see. Until next time, brother. Game closed.
But RTX Mega actually kind of wants to make
Jesus
that
Christ.
process, and also it's kind of change up random area. It's just VH pass.
Suspect's vehicle has been located.
Triangles. And that was pretty good for a time when there was a lot more static geometry and world was
Aided. Details have been sent. Suspect has disappeared. All units on site continue searching the area.
A bunch of triangles that are added to the detail systems.
Code 0. I repeat.
That makes it
Me. I have a job. The urgent kind.
So GPU, and of course there's that like command cost on the CPU. So this is an API change primarily, and it targets actually all RTX GPUs since RTX 2000. And
One is yanking my friend's drones out of the sky. Check out the...
So we're seeing here, presumably Alan 2 is using, I would presume, NVIDIA API, but there's also Vulkan extensions right now that are specific to NVIDIA. That's the way Vulkan works. We'll talk about this at the end of the video, but this may be a glimpse of what is to come.
Coordinates. Find out who is responsible.
So yeah,
the details are attached.
This bottom level and top level structure to a BVH involving ray tracing. And actually, I'm pretty sure it's the same console side of things. And here, the difference with RTX mega geometry, the one that I'm going to be specifically talking about in this video, is the addition of the CLAS, the cluster acceleration structure. There's the bottom level, the top level, and now there's this cluster level in the middle here. And this maps very well, essentially, to games that use mesh shading, and games, or something like Nanite, where triangles are grouped into clusters and then traced against separate kind of. And this is an interesting trade-off because it shouldn't just be taken as a pure advancement over what was previously available as part of the state of art, this bottom level and top level. This CLAS structure is one that's better for games doing stuff like mesh shading, but it's also just a generally perhaps better thing for stuff that moves, stuff that deforms, stuff that levels of detail changes rather often, or things that procedurally add more geometry to the scene, like tessellation, real-time tessellation. And those things previously in the past were way too expensive to potentially do constantly changing stuff like that in real-time en masse. And the cluster level, this cluster acceleration structure is a way to solve that is not GPU specific at all. Research in the past, but that all required stuff that might have required RPGs to other so it really does actually all RPGs. And I'm advocating for stuff like so that's really cool. And in Alan Wake 2's case, the reason why it is in this game at all, and the reason why it's a big deal for Alan Wake 2 is because specifically in all the areas of the game that have a lot of vegetation, Alan Wake 2 very specifically geometry, vertex conditions change, geometry,
Rack it up! We had some fun!
It's accurate, but it's using the traditional way this is done. And RTX Mega Geometry here is trying to kind of make that cheaper, either on the CPU, in VRAM, and also on the GPU. So here I actually did mention that depending upon what GPU you have, there's going to be differences in how much RTX Mega Geometry performance. Now I went through this benchmark that we have this and running through the benchmark with the RTX I saw at any but I saw a 13% higher average frame rate in RTX 2080 Ti. Now that doesn't seem like much, but this GPU is running 8.4 times faster than chips. It's really intense chips. this is when playing the game at DLSS quality, as we see here, we can see that it was previously in the mid-20s before, but now it is almost always north of 30 FPS with, you know, direct lighting around as well as the low quality. That makes it so that our games that we couldn't play before, now it actually has what I would consider controller friendly. So it's basically making path tracing work well on RTX 2080. Going through the benchmark again, here I saw on Ampere, presumably just due to the metrics being different, less of an impact. It was only around 10% higher average frame rate. Still, once again, really low frame rates here at native 1080p. It's native 1080p path tracing is really expensive. And that was around an average 3.5 milliseconds faster in the benchmark scene. In game, though, less impressive at like a realistic resolution that you use here. Once again, 1080p quality mode. Running through the forest, I saw where it was it before, sometimes going down to the 30s. Now it was primarily always above 40 FPS. It just made it presumably a better experience if you wanted to target something like, 40 FPS while playing this game. Now, when you get to RTX 4000 and 5000, this is where things get less exciting and interesting, and I'm not exactly sure why. Just doing the bench, for example, for RTX 4090, it scored only something like less than 1% higher average frame rate over the course of the bench, and that was run multiple times. You would really struggle to see a difference. Technically, there's obviously, less of a CPU burden, so very potentially high frame rates at that end, and there's less VRAM usage, but on an RTX 4090 at 1080p here, I didn't see almost any difference. I also ran it on Blackwell, RTX 5080, and they touted that Blackwell is the best at RTX megageometry. Here, I once again at 1080p saw less than 1% average frame rate improvement there by using megageometry on the RTX 5080. When I went up in resolution to like 1440p and 4K, actually for multiple runs, rerunning multiple times, saw technically a tiny bit less performance with RTX megageometry, something like half a percentage. You can sometimes see that playing out at the average frame rate. On RTX 5000.
All units in the area, reports of additional suspicious activity.
Well, I haven't actually seen that big of a difference. Maybe potentially. Maybe the system drive right now.
Suspect's vehicle has been located. Details have been sent.
Those M2.
Suspect has disappeared. All units on site, continue searching the area.
Ready for my famous charge none. Like, to check the mascot first before bringing to a tailgate. Check all state first for no ticket safety violations.
Code 0. I repeat, code 0 in the... Me. I have a job. The urgent kind. Someone is yanking my friend's drones out of the sky.
Why the cat
Check out the coordinates. Find out who is responsible. The details are attached.
As of this time, Captain Marvel's in theaters, and with it comes a few thoughts. I hate his voice. That's all they can do. Well, now you can cover it twice. Characters will affect the outcome of Avengers Endgame. Nick Fury already served to summon Captain Marvel before he died, and Captain Marvel herself is already proven to be This voice is too much. Powered heroes. This sounds like a parody. Travel and destroying Kree warships with no effort at all. But there's another character who happens to have the potential to turn the tide of things. As strange as it sounds, this would be Zeus. Before we hop into the video, remember to subscribe and turn notifications. Don't forget. So this one is cold. And again, we're getting progressively more clickbait, but still not quite to the dregs yet. Why the cat in Captain Marvel has more meaning than you think. As of this time, Captain Marvel's in theaters, and with it comes a few thoughts.
It's a voice.
As of this time, Captain Marvel. Except I can do it. Well, now you can cover it twice. Characters will affect the outcome of Avengers Endgame. Nick Fury already served to summon Captain Marvel before he died, and Captain Marvel herself is already proven to be this voice is too much. The Lord, powered hero. This sounds like a parody. Travel and destroy Kree warships with no effort at all. But there's another character who happens to have the potential to turn the tide of things. As strange as it sounds, this would be Goose. Before we hop into the video, remember to subscribe and turn notifications on.
Sure, even the thumbnails they show on there, like he's up there, they kind of look good. Look at
Look at his name. He's green. Wake up, Juggernaut. He's green.
Bruce Banner looks like he's dunked his hands in something that he didn't want to dunk his hands in. And they're in the background, so why? That's a secret. Feel his hands.
Like and comment down below saying you did so, and we can try to respond to as many of you as we can.
I don't want to see his abilities.
Goose only showed off one ability in the movie, but this one ability showed a number of different uses. At first, no one really believed that Goose was a Flurkin, courtesy of both her appearance and what information. Yeah, sorry, pause this. With context,
a Flurkin is this horrible and crafty and tentacle monster, and the joke is, everyone keeps saying the cat's blue. Well, one guy keeps saying it, Fury's blue, but then the cat actually consumes like 6 people at once with tentacles.
Flurkin sounds like a pumpkin name. Like something you'd hear in like Louisiana. You ever heard it? Source of the time. But it didn't take very long failures to prove that she indeed was the equivalent of an intergalactic demon. Intergalactic tended to be a pretty good motivator for that. During the finale of the movie, there's a moment where Nick Fury finds himself in a bit of trouble, and either as a way to protect Fury or possibly even herself, Goose spits out a plethora of tendrils from her mouth and uses them to swallow a group of man-sized enemy soldiers. I guess Goose is that. Yeah, it's a bit.
Goose's name was Chewie in the comics, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, Chewie. It's clear.
So, can't swallow a group of man-sized soldiers. Man-sized soldiers. That is Tim. Man-sized soldiers. See, now generally when you say soldier, most people, they will assume that it's a man-sized.
That's like the opposite of Ant-Man, it's like the normal sized man.
A group of man-sized soldiers. And swallowed a couple of perfectly normal-sized human. Well, that's downright outreach. Along with the ability to eat people in masses, Goose can also use the sleeping claw to store and hide objects. When the heroes get their how do we know it's storing and hiding them? Because that's the thing. That's what's so weird about that scene when the cat eats the Tesseract. Why? Why do you hide it?
Because nobody else wanted to touch it. Nobody else wanted to have it in their hands.
The gamma radiation.
What? They had it in a around and lunchbox and stuff. It looked like one of those gushers that you can buy in like the corner store.
They wanted to take it out of the lunchbox, but so they could use the lunchbox as a distraction.
She just ate it. Well, those 60-year-old lunchboxes. The cat is an artist inside.
Alcohol Gill said, "Would you rather fight one man-sized soldier or 100 soldier-sized men?"
You have no idea who you're fucking with.
Familiar and powerful object from the MCU timeline in the form of the Tesseract. They have to play keep away with it from the bad guys.
What the hell?
Capable of firsthand. I'm sorry, I can't take this seriously. I'm literally looking at a cat.
That's weird.
On a Captain Marvel background, and I'm supposed to take this seriously.
I don't know why the voice didn't do that.
It's not a cat. It's a Flurkin.
Yeah. Just knowing that there is a literal cat that's not a literal monster
What the shit?
Monster that looks like a cat.
Yeah, that makes it better. I'm never watching this movie. Giving them.
That's the joke. It's literally that people think it's a cat and it's not. That's like
That's a terrible joke. Well,
okay.
Well, it's like the rest of the humor.
What's the punchline? Oh, look, it's punchline, but it's not really a cat.
The punchline is that it's a Cthulhu-style fucking Lovecraftian monster inside of a cat's body. That's the joke.
Carry it around everywhere they go for no reason.
Yeah, well, the cat follows them technically. They don't carry it around. The cat is part of
They literally do.
Carry it a couple times.
Yeah, but the cats that kept following them, they like.
I don't know why it followed them as well.
Because the cat knows the cat's not just a cat. It's a fucking flirkin or whatever, and it's friends with Marvell, and he remembers what's her name from being friends with Marvell back before Marvell died. Brie Larson. So Captain Marvel is related to Cat. Cat knows there's something wrong with Captain Marvel, but something that's more expanded. You know, that's not the human version of Captain Marvel, but this is the cat version of the flirkin either. This cat knows some shit.
Yeah. A lot of that's not in the film, but I mean,
it can be implied. It can all be implied. And the pieces are there. Because they don't spell it out, the pieces are there.
man-sized soldiers are flying through the sun.
So, I was under the impression that my flatmate wasn't here, but it turns out he is. So I can stay back quiet for the rest of the podcast. So just, why do you have to be? This is what I sound like. Because he's a fucking person. You can't deal with noises latent to the why isn't your computer in your room? It's fine. It's a plot. I can go down and forth. I'm not upset. I'm just curious. No, I'm getting my place, and I'm on. So you're getting some of the capital. The big problem is the Tesseract comes out only when Goose wants it to. It's only by the end credit. I don't think you can argue that when it literally all set up to this. That Goose spits it out like a hairball. Which even right now. No! This is not I think it's kind of fucked up that someone named Cat Goose. It's like naming a cat or a hamster or something. It's named after the news from Top Gun, right? I think so. Are you serious? Depending on its response, because Top Gun is pretty good. Very, very. It's what's your first date? That's weird. That's fine. I like The Avengers fight against Thanos, engaging towards important armies at his fault. Along with that, anything that the Avengers needs to change later use and ask for this one. It's definitely going to be a giant. I think it's going to make this like video. It's like, oh yeah, he's turned and then Lucy's disappearance. Considering how crazy the thing is, it's weird that she has to appear in nothing other than MCU films. There's nothing that could have wrecked on it until they made her own. No, it's not because it exists. It's
It'll be easier for everyone if he just comes
picture of like a regular ass cat. Like I don't know what this creature is. It's a flirt. It's not. Yeah, the marble. There are a few possibilities. How much like CGI they use for a cat? This is all go. It's like that's just a fucking cat. Just that's a nice cat on cat. Just white. What do you think's more expensive, the cat or mustache? It's that was fucking T-Blood. That mustache. T-Blood to rent for a cat. Sounds okay. That's cool. Like explanation for this. It may have actually be friendly. Well, as in like a tight after he secured the Tesseract from him, considering Nick trusts nobody, and that he is the only person in S.H.I.E.L.D. as far as we know. Look at that scar. How exactly did the cat do that? Yeah. Like, I'm trying to list the best, not like as an alien creature that's big and close. It's also not as nice except they're chronic poison. I can now head kind of use the scratch and just make sure and a bit of like
Now, this transmitter takes me back. How so? Back in 2020, we used it for
if there was a piece of intelligence that Nick didn't want with it,
broadcast. You know, blasting hardcore punk, badge frequencies.
So this must be how Raph and Schiff hacked those drones.
You'd never figure it out.
You can't understand. Back out of it.
Nice work up.
Want to be released for issue theaters. That may sound pretty dumb, and
You know, maybe it is. There's a decent chance that you can all revisit this video around this time next year and have a good laugh at my expense.
This one is called, and again, we're getting progressively more clickbait, but it's still not quite to the dregs yet. Why the... Why Kree warriors will replace Thanos as the villain in Avengers Endgame.
No, fuck no. They did one why Hawkeye will replace Thanos as the villain in Avengers Endgame. And again, no.
This video is called Why X-Men Dark Phoenix Will Never Hit Theaters.
Oh, isn't it like already confirmed to be in theaters though?
Yeah, he made it before it got confirmed.
This video is brought to you by Audible. You know, I don't consider myself a very conspiratorial person. The moon landing was definitely real. Elvis probably got...
I mean, if he maintains this position, he's lost his mind a bit.
1977, but there's one conspiracy that I'm really starting to latch onto. X-Men Dark Phoenix is never, ever going... I remember when men sounded like dudes.
You know what you mean?
Everyone's... I'm sorry, he just sounds like... So many guys sound like women.
So then you used to say men have to sound a certain way. You're a fucking dinosaur, dude. Give it the times. Jesus, racist.
They need to give it the times. There's going to be released traditionally in theaters.
That antenna. The tricky part of having a head is knowing how to use it, but not for you. Mosquito's roots are safe and secure again. The contract is closed, and closed well.
The influence of tonal is spreading. It's worse than tonal because tonal
Head down!
I argue this is relevant. The idea is that he's playing, you know, it's like an X-Men cartoon when he's talking about X-Men.
So for those of you who don't know, which is probably not many of you, so I'll try to keep this part short, Disney is acquiring Fox in a deal that's historic, massive, and pretty deeply troubling from a media consolidation perspective, but I'm here to talk about the X-Men, so let's stick with that. Many MCU fans, myself definitely included, are really excited to see how Kevin Feige and company work everyone's favorite mutants into the already huge MCU. There's a team of excited so actually already
for a chance to win a one-week getaway for two at the Crystal Palace. 10 casinos, 5 pools, top and brain-ass equipment, and the best chefs in the universe. If you're looking for a taste of paradise, don't wait a microsecond longer. Send space to 7299 right now. The Crystal Palace. Feel alive in the planet space. getaway for two at South Crystal Palace. 10 casinos, 5 pools, top-end brain dance equipment, and the best chef in the universe. If you're looking for a taste of paradise, don't wait a microsecond longer. Send space to 7299 right now. The Crystal Palace. Feel alive in the dead of space.
Going for That's what I want the most out of fiction, really. But it's really hard to balance that with big, larger-than-life sci-fi stories. So I want to recommend one book that manages to do it incredibly well. Way to a Small Angry Planet.
Alright, Captain. We'll see you again soon. Maybe one day. But that, it's just... You got to know these videos out there. Why is it not links, guys?
I still can't get over these Medea videos.
This is the end of the line. This is the one that I think is pretty hilarious. Infid, so I can say. It came out, just after Infinity War, so there's no guarantee. But even then, I think it's pretty silly. It's from Up Next, and it's called Why Thor Won't Be in Avengers 4.
Now, we love to speculate about what could happen in the next Marvel movie. It is the bread and butter of what we do and what we intend to continue.
And look at the thing he immediately says. Why Thor may not be in Avengers 4. But that wasn't the title of the video.
They just openly said it's because it's our bread and butter. We clickbait. It's what we do. We talk about movies like Up. And fun fact, don't have the first sentence of your video make the title wrong.
Well, I don't know, man. It's just the we gotta do.
But as easy as it is to speculate about what could happen, we also need to take into account what will absolutely happen and what will potentially not happen at all. So we asked ourselves, who would be in the upcoming 4th Avengers movie?
and most importantly, why. We landed on Thor, Odin, son of Asgard. So climb on our backs as we flap our wings and fly through valleys of the Marvel Universe lore, creepy backstories, and freaky-deaky theories to land on why, oh why, the God of Thunder may not make it to the 4th Avengers flick. We reply to every single one of you. All you do is get a reply. I said, brother, talk to me.
I don't believe for a second that he responds to everybody. I'm gonna say that stuff, otherwise, you might be looked at as someone who's unreasonable. I'm gonna click on this video and I do the comments and see. I actually might be crazy for playing this, but no, the very first top comment he has to reply to. Oh, well, hold on a second. Look at the old top comments and just how he's overall. It's always in I don't know, it's a weird take. Someone said I subbed and he did the same thing. Great. Oh, bro.
You will see you did so.
In any case, you notice this Lord of Thunder why is
this was a clip. This is
Alright, so these are all just white people.
Yes, but we're taking with over a dozen A-list actors playing vital characters, along with 50 or so other actors and actresses, all playing actors. Vital was to bring back the smoke of the whole yeah, that doesn't look right. That looks really it's not that thick. Yeah, I don't know. This is James face. They're gonna pull a picture of it. This is not. That cannot be his real beard. Man, look underneath the chin there. Right? The shape of the jaw is messed
Those
up.
daddies were to get us the fuck out of here.
Yo, V, check it. There's a site on the net out to smear the mayor, Weldon Holt. Well, acting mayor, because, he's up for re-election or whatever. Yeah, politics,
It's too angular.
right? Never stop. Not for a mean. Anyhow, my client wants that site sucked into the cold vacuum of cyberspace. Scan the brief. You need more info.
I think they definitely photoshopped Gavin. That is not a real
I imagine this was made by somebody, not Disney, and then Skillet took it again. Oh, sorry. This is called Up Next, that's what
I guess what this happened is they just Googled, it and they took one of the things. They're like, here's.
I think they did more. I think they might have photoshopped his lips, because look at the picture I put in the Discord chat, and then compare it to the one on screen.
It was fine. The original versions of these pictures.
I understand why you may want to talk about things like that right now, but there's something that takes a more pressing matter, I'm afraid. And it is this.
What is this?
He put it on backwards.
Yeah, no. Medea War. Don't do it, Medea. Medea has fallen. Medea Battle Angel. Black Medea Town.
Clockwork Medea.
Medea's bizarre adventure.
Along with 50 or so other actors and actresses, all playing vital roles to bring the whole story together. Even Red Skull was found to be defending the Soul Stone in deep space, although Hugo Weaving decided not to reprise his role as the character due to artistic differences. All of these characters were packed into a 2-hour
What artistic
and each one had their own role to play.
I mean, actually, I just imagined the character of Red Skull to be completely different from what they portrayed.
I bet it was just because he did prosthetics.
Yeah, that's what I know.
That's an artistic difference right there.
But the thing is, like, he probably will come back now, right? Because they mainly just they put him in pajamas and they do the rest as post,
Put on the fucking mask, Elrond.
Yeah, Elrond.
The movie had the absolute opportunity.
He didn't want to be seen as a Nazgul if he looks bad in front of the other elves.
South Thanos in his tracks. Theories have surfaced about what superhero could have killed him and how. Many pointed to Chris Pratt's Star-Lord preventing the Avengers from taking the gauntlet from Thanos' hand while Thanos was under Mantis' hypnosis. What character is wearing next?
That's definitely not photoshopped.
Well, yeah, the other photo was definitely photoshopped.
It's used hands to stop that.
Well, this is the thing, I don't know if he
tell you to do this.
I don't know if it was him or if he just found someone's fucking fat creation.
I seriously wonder if someone's fat creation was still. I could just get a picture where he has a beard, but like, oh, he is
rushing the shit out of these videos. Come on.
I'm just going that picture.
Dude, Medea society. It's throwback. Medea. The regen of Medea. The dark Medea rises. Medea is alive. After Medea. Medea's.
This was a bad relationship because none of the lighting lines up in any way.
Well, Spider-Man's lighting
between the characters. There's lighting. She's literally from Doctor Strange.
Thanos had failed absolutely, and that was Thor. You see, Thor was the only Avenger who had a weapon in hand that had the power to stop Thanos. Thor swung his new weapon, Stormbreaker, and fell with the idea.
I was actually gonna say, just like, this video's just wrong, so... you want to just, like, move on?
I've got a suggestion if you want it.
Amazon ladies, like 8 minutes. There's 8 more minutes. Say we're at 4 hours. We've got to do super chats, but it's really up to everybody if you want to. What was your suggestion?
I've got a 3-minute video of why Spider-Man Far From Home is fake and will never be released, and they just show the trailers to trick people.
Well, I mean, it's not that. See, I find that to be a fun theory rather than like a crazy video.
Yeah, I think that's a fun theory. That's like, yeah, that's like a crazy conspiracy theory. But
Medea might count the resurrection. Medea Covenant. What's the word Prometheus mean?
From Medea.
I'm surprised you can get a premium.
Prometheus, obviously.
Well, he set up for the honest man to succeed. After the hustle.
People's game is family odds. If they go on so damn calling up on my door. The city's meant to be yours, sweetheart. What are you gonna do to get it?
Trust me, it's just the beginning.
Quinn Talon was bleeding from his butt. His rear end had just scraped hard against the asphalt as 2 bullies used their superpowers to throw him around like a rag doll. He examined his rope.
You might know me as the small computer guy or the ubiquity fairy or whatever you want to know me as, but what you probably don't know me as is a dude that likes 3D printers. I have a Prusa Mark IVs at home, and that thing frickin' rips. It's the most reliable printer I've ever had, and the only thing I've ever wanted out of it is an enclosure.
I have this stupid, like, Wii Pro 10 thing that's honestly bigger than this box, but today, Prusa is solving that problem for me, baby. This is the Prusa Core 1. It is their new Core XY printer. If you're unfamiliar, you might be familiar with other printers, which are the bed slinger style, as in the build plate actually moves back and forth for that access. This one, not unlike their Prusa XL, the bed only moves up and down, and the print head is what moves back and forth, which gives them a bit of an advantage. Specifically in terms of space, you don't have to move the giant build plate back and forth, so we should be getting a bigger build area in the same amount of space, and also an enclosure. They include gummy bears. We've got a sheet with whatever stuff's in here, a steel sheet Core 1. Yeah, I like the new design. This is a smooth PEI sheet, so this is something like PLA filament. Really not with that are stickier and might get stuck in that damage plate and take it off. We've got a power cable. This thing off. Hey! Use him! No frontal attack! God damn it! What's this? Oh, it comes with a roll of filament. Percent PLA Galaxy Wax. Pretty stuff. Despite the looks, it doesn't have any obvious damage. And this thing is built around a steel exoskeleton, as they call it. So in theory, it should be incredibly strong. And I mean, yo, this is better than sex. It still looks like a big old tangle. There's the screen. Oh, got a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, which is always nice. And then the various Allen keys and wrenches you need to service this thing. If you're not familiar with Prusa's, a big selling point for them, they make and sell parts for basically any piece of this machine. And not only that, you can modify them, which is super cool. Like bell. And one curious change I've started to notice manufacturing. It used to be that like every single part of the printer was plastic, 3D printed. Well, now they've started doing injection molding with the screen, which it doesn't look nicer, but it also means that this is less replaceable. I mean, I'm sure they'll probably give you a 3D printed version of this. It's basically the same screen cover they've been using for ages. It feels a little bit icky. Check the top here. There we go. Boom. Attached. We've got other build plates. There's all three of them. Set. And you're unsure which one you should use with your filament. They actually have pretty good like materials guide on the website that tell you which one is best. You're just printing with PLA all the time. Because when I come with those videos, this is the camera module. A couple extra magnets. These don't come in the box, but because it's steel, you can purchase accessories. And then nylon ribbon. Oh, this is held in nylon. The printer uses Prusa's extruder, which is the fancy word for extruder. That you can see it right here. And it has a high flow nozzle. It's kind of a cool piece of technology. Inside the nozzle, you have like the string of plastic comes in, and then it splits into multiple paths inside to like better distribute the heat load, I guess. Allow the nozzle to flow faster than just a normal one. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Let's install a little camera thingy and a USB-C cable. This is just back down. Now that it's sitting there properly, get back and forth. Man, all this hard work has really got me feeling like gummy bear. I'll give you guys one too. And you can have the same way for our sponsor.
Betsy, during that time of year where you feel like it's going to be clearing up, and then it starts snowing in Florida. Well, the best in their dry spot guarantee. It doesn't matter. You'll be ready for any weather, any time of year. So you pick up a pair of their weekend chills, just stick behind your mouth.
One asshole to the wall and another rises up in the polls. Politics is fucked.
All while still in great.
One of the biggest changes here, it's just like a lot of the other printers on the market now. The previous printers you would have to buy or build a separate enclosure that made them like way bigger.
I'd like to hear about January 6th as well, because there's a huge story there that we haven't delved into. So is it reasonable to link to that?
Pretty much.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. In the middle of all these lawsuits, I have this burning passion for two.
We nailed one asshole to...
Speaking publicly. And one of those days of speaking publicly happened to be January 6th in Washington, D.C. My perspective was it was another speaking engagement. I spoke January 5th in Washington, D.C. I spoke January 3rd in Florida, January 10th in Florida. But the 5th and 6th, I was scheduled in Washington, D.C. Where will you speak? It's January 5th, no problem, Freedom Plaza. January 6th, scheduled to speak beside the Capitol.
You did it, V. Just got word that virus is blazing toward the servers like a fucking asteroid. Dream work.
There were about 20 speakers, including incoming Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar, another representative. There was a pretty high-profile speaking opportunity. People were, of course, speaking about their concerns with the election stolen. But finally, to speak about that, speech that is important problem in Freedom Plaza. I was in the speaking on January 6th, the east side of the Capitol building, on Section 8. We, the speakers, presented ourselves at the location. We were told by the Oregon whoever is there. There was a stage set up, but we weren't allowing anybody to speak. There were reasons we wanted. No, still don't know. They're so large. I don't know. They have large crowds. It's to run the people speak. It's sort of positive energy source for the crowd to pay attention to. But for whatever reason, they would not let the speakers speak. So I was there on Capitol. I said, I'm giving a speech. So I said, well, I'm speaking. And so I scampered up to the top of the desk and started speaking. But I had zero microphones or anything. Of course, within a minute or two, I stopped because no one could hear me. There's a lot of people, and I'm standing at the top of the Capitol steps, and people are pouring in by the second because Trump and Hillary speaking, and everyone was walking over. And I'm telling you, every day had another 1,000 people showing up there. And that was when Trump had stopped. And so I'm just standing there, and I'm kind of smushed against the wall, and all of a sudden, the doors opened from the inside, and I was swept into the building. This is all the video. I can't imagine what they would say about me if there was no video. Because you can actually see on the video that I can't tumble and I almost fall into the building. There was this surge behind me, and I find myself in the Capitol. It's hard to remember like before J6. But we have a long history in our nation of political protests. Now, when conservatives landed in the Capitol, standing there where I was very peaceful, completely peaceful. I found myself in the Rotunda. It's beautiful. I'm walking between the rows. I'm looking up here because it turns out there was video everywhere. I didn't know. And you can see me walking peacefully in between the rows, looking going on. I've got my speech in my hand. I think to myself, it is a fine to actually give my speech because this is a political day and let's give a speech. And there's a lot of people here. So I give my speech, and that is also seen on video. And it's kind of funny when I'm thinking back on it, but that was my mission.